Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 326 for the 15th of January. So I know that you must be very surprised. What the hell is this map? Yes, this is something like of a secret project that I worked on. This is not available to anyone. You can't even pay money to get this. This is actually a very cool way of mapping. And if I go in, you can actually see all these light gray. These are actually all the city, and you can actually see the outline of the city or the towns or the villages. And actually if you go in further, you can see all the streets. It's very clear now, so you can see all the roads and all the streets. Let's go to somewhere where we know better. Let's say we go to Bakhmut. So you can see Bakhmut. When I say that there's only 2 roads out, you can see there's only 2 roads out. Very clear. And if I go in further, of course, you can see some of the tiny roads, the smaller roads that they can still use, but it's not very efficient. It's there. And yeah, if you go even further in, you can even see the houses, the buildings. So so this is actually to help to improve in terms of the reporting I do on the channel. And if I need to, we can always come back to the usual one. No problem, we can always come back to the usual one if need to look at the terrain. Or if we need to, we can also go to the relief, some of the relief mapping that we can actually see, where is the high ground, where is the low ground. So very cool shit. So anyway, let's start off with the southern front, which there is nothing happening. There's nothing much happening over at the southern front. And moving on to the Zaporizhzhia line. At the Zaporizhzhia line, we do not have any fighting reported around here except at Velika Novosilka. So according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they reported. Let me see. I can actually make it bigger. Let me try. So maybe this is easier for you to read now, right? Okay, so at Velika Novosilka, there is fighting reported over here by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And if not, the rest of the Zaporizhzhia line is actually pretty quiet. Moving on to the Donetsk front. So you can see Donetsk is actually in this region here. I have this tiny map now. So in this area here, I think I need to zoom out a bit. So sorry. Okay, zoom out a bit. Yeah, that was a bit too near. So at the Donetsk front, in this area here of Ukraine, there is fighting reported across the Soledar line. So this is Soledar. So along the Soledar line, there is fighting reported at Preshestivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And there is also an attack, reported by the Russian Defense Ministry, where they say that artillery and motorized rifle units inflicted fire damage at the Ukrainians. So basically, they are actually firing at Soledar in an attack. They are not rushing the position yet. They are still not rushing position yet. They are probably just firing at it at Soledar region. There is also similar fighting reported over at Volodymyrivka, probably in the northern part. Exactly where is unclear. The Ukrainians actually do their own offensive, in the sense they attack Slatkoye or Solodke. A sabotage reconnaissance group was reportedly contacted by the Russian forces over at Solodke. Fighting is reported at Novomikhailivka as well, with the Russians attacking, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And the Ukrainian Defense Ministry continues to also report that there is fighting at Bojeda, as well as at Marinka. So at Marinka as well. So far, we still do not have any clear updates as to what's happening to the frontier. The last time I saw Rybar describe this region here, they say that they're fighting around the center here. However, we have a lot of information saying that from different sources saying that the Russians have captured most of it, with the Ukrainians holding only the most outskirt region, the most western outskirt of Marinka. So we have no idea what the hell is actually happening over here. And over at Krasnohorivka, there is fighting reported at Krasnohorivka. And over at the northwestern part of Donetsk city. So this Donetsk city, At the northeastern part, the northeastern part of Donetsk city, we have fighting reported at Seversk. So this Seversk, there's not a lot of buildings around at Seversk. It's like just a small town. You can see these are the buildings here. And at Seversk, and there is fighting reported at Pervomaisky. This continued to get stuck here for a very, very long time, despite they use heavy flamethrowers and whatever. So it looks like the Russians deliberately hold this position, so and not pushing. So I'm not sure what is the clear plan. And anyway, there is fighting reported around Vodian as well as at somewhere near Opine, or Opitne. So some people know very, very, very triggered when I say Opine or Opine. Okay, Opitne. Okay, Opitne. So over at the northern part of Avdiivka, there is fighting reported at Kanyamka as well as at Krasnohorivka. And for this Krasnohorivka, War Gonzo made it a point that they are not talking about the Krasnohorivka over at the western part of Donetsk city. They are not talking about this Krasnohorivka. They made it a point in their description to emphasize that this is not the fortified one. So this is the one. So that means this is the first time we have seen this location being reported as fighting since a long time ago. Krasnohorivka. The last time we saw fighting here is a really, really long time ago. Over at the northeastern part from Krasnohorivka, we also have reports of fighting at Novobakhmutivka, around here in the north or in the northern part of Avdiivka. And if you can look at this, there's an attack around here and there's an attack around here. So you know what I'm going to say next. Crabby time, crabby time. So moving over to New York region, we are already in New York region, by the way. There is at the very end of the New York region, in furthest point of the front, there is a Ukrainian attack towards Mayosk. This is reported by Ryber. They say that there's a strike group of 30 people, attack Russian positions at Mayosk. So and this is a good example of the kind of offensive that we are seeing around these regions. Very small, 30 people, just it's not even a primary school classroom worth of soldiers. So that's all from the New York front. Over at the Bakhmut front, so we are now here around on the western part of Luhansk. The Luhansk is here, you see, western part of Luhansk. And there is fighting reported at Klishchiivka. So according to Ryba, the pro-Russian source, they say that the Wagner private military contractors established control over several, they say strongholds, but actually they are probably just trenches, south and the southeast of Klishchiivka. So if you talk about south, is here around here, southeast, maybe they captured this one, perhaps. Maybe it's this mushroom head, this mushroom or diaper. This is like the baby after they shit and then the diaper filled up. It looks like this. So so maybe this one was captured, but it's very unclear because it's not so clear what exactly they mean. So otherwise the fighting is also from the north as well. So Klishchiivka is surrounded on 3 sides. So there's only all these tiny roads. You can see from Klishchiivka, the lower road is gone. They only have left with this road, and I'm not even sure if they can use this road. So they'll have to go through the fields. You can see that the grid shapes of the roads is actually going all around the farmlands. They are moving up towards Ivanivsky. In terms of the relief, you can see that the entrenchment is actually up in a hill. That's 200 meter high, all the way down to here. So Klishchiivka as a town or village is actually in a valley, and the forces here in the entrenchment should have a clear route to follow the roads all the way up to Ivanivsky for withdrawal if they need to. And over at the Bakhmut city itself, at the Bakhmut city, we have a Ukrainian counteroffensive reported at a champagne factory. So the Ukrainian forces counterattack the Wagner forces at the champagne factory around here. So you can see that there is multiple buildings here, probably fighting around here. You can see yeah, it looks more like this. It's actually a lot of trees. We don't see trees on this map. Yeah, and moving further up north, in the north of Bakhmut, there is fighting around here, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. They're saying that their forces is exploiting success in the direction of the northern part of Aktimovsk, which is Bakhmut. And in a different report, in another report, they say that the Russian forces is actually heading towards Yakhidne. So if this is true and they are actually just going to bypass through this, go through this entire settlement here in the northern part of Bakhmut, go through the train tracks. These red lines are train tracks, by the way, and then hit Yakhidne. Oh my god, then the Ukrainians would have to make a very serious decision about whether they want to continue to hold on. And if the Russian forces from Klishchiivka hits the road, this T0504 highway or road near the Ivanivsky, then I believe the Ukrainians will have no choice but to withdraw through Kromove. Anyway, further up north into the Soledar region. So you know this is Soledar. See, it doesn't look so much like a bra now. It looks more like a pretty broken screwdriver with this map. There is fighting reported at Paraskovievka, and also fighting reported at Krasnohora. So this information is coming from Riba, and there is also fighting reported at Blahodane. All this information all from the pro-Russian source as they report around here. I have checked Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source. The pro-Ukrainian side did not want to admit or accept that Soledar has fallen. Basically, their position is that the Ukrainian Defense Ministry has not saying anything, so they should not assume anything. So they also warn the journalists or accounts on the Ukrainian side, please do not speculate. So wait for the Ukrainian or the Ukrainian government or defense ministry's statement. Over at the SIL, the Russian forces last known is that they have captured the depot, which is here. So we still do not have really much more information about the fighting at SIL, except that there is fighting reported at SIL, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. And further up north at Krasnopolivka, we have fighting reported near this region, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So while the pro-Russian side did not report about the fighting at Krasnopolivka, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry now admits that there is fighting near this region. And in fact, this is not just confusing about, it's not a confusion between SIL and Krasnopolivka, because they did highlight SIL as well. So it's SIL and then also Krasnopolivka, which is here. So the situation endures. Soledar is still not fallen as per DPA's mapping as well. I do not think that I do not going to put this as Soledar is captured yet, unless there is no Russian forces are taking photos and videos around this area here. This area here, this suburb or town area here. If there's nothing, no photos being taken here or around here, this region, then I will not declare Soledar as fully captured by the Russian forces. Moving to the Seversk front. So at the Seversk front, we are around here now. So at the Seversk front, there is fighting reported west of Berestove. So this is the first time we kind of have some inclination of where the fighting might be. And Berestove is around here, and to west of it. So it's probably around here, north of Bilohorivka. So that helps to shape the front line a bit. And there is also fighting reported at Sperne, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And they also reported other places, which is surprising, like Verkhnokanyamsky, that is also under attack by the Russian forces, and also at Bilohorivka. This one is more usual, as usual, within the Luhansk territory. So that's all from the Seversk front. Moving to the Kreminna front, we have fighting reported at Dibrova, with the Ukrainians launching an attack. This attack is launched by the 71st Jaeger brigade, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. They are met by the Russian airborne troops. So so this gives you some kind of a idea who are fighting here. The Russians are using the airbornes around here. The Russians themselves launched a offensive against in the direction of Torsky and Zaporizhzhia, and they managed to push back the Ukrainians a bit. Exact front line, we're not sure where is it. The Russians also reported that they have shelled positions near Kuzmine, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, using artillery and air force. The Ukrainians reacted with reinforcement being sent southeast of Dibrova, so around this area within the forest region. So this area is a forest region, so they are reinforcing here because they are currently in the major fighting with the Russian forces at Dibrova and Kuzmine here. So this is the situation here. And moving to further up north of Kreminna, there is reinforcement on the Ukrainian side near Sheveno-Popivka. So no, there's no fighting reported here. The fighting is reported further up north at Ploshchanka region, with the Russian forces fighting along this line of Makievka, Ploshchanka, in the direction of the Zuravka beam. So I believe this beam is actually referring to this water thingy place, which is actually, you can see this forested area here surrounded. I believe this is actually referring to this forested area here. If you can see the relief map, there's clearly some kind of watery thingy here. Yeah, so moving to Makievka actually gets shelled by the Russian forces, by air force and ground artillery, and that's all for the Kreminna front. Moving further up to the Svatove front, so we are currently in the north west part of Luhansk People's Republic, or Luhansk Oblast. There is bombardment at Stemakivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, and there is also shelling reported at Novoselivsk. So this Novoselivsk, and very interesting. You can now see this two very different towns. One, they clearly have different characters. Yeah, this is like so disorganized, and this is very organized. I'm sure they hate each other. Yeah, so further up to the Kupiansk front, or the Kupiansk region, all this fighting, the Ukrainian offensive that was previously reported, it was not repeated. The only information that we get is actually from the Russian Defense Ministry, where they reported shelling near or at Sinkivka, and also at Voronezh. So Voronezh is actually a stronghold, currently very heavily entrenched by the Ukrainian forces after they recaptured this location. However, they did not manage to push through to Tervizanka. They are unable to push to Tervizanka, and the Russian forces also unable to push and recapture Voronezh. So currently it's a stalemate around this region. This region is heavily forested, as you can see. This looks like a forestry where they actually cut down the trees to sell lumber, and they actually plant more trees to be to chop them off next time. So that's all from the Kupiansk front. There's nothing over at the Kharkiv front, but we do have some information over at the Sumi region. According to Ryba, there is 5,000 troops, 5,000 people arrive along this 5 location. Namely, this position is Bakirivka, Lisne, Kamilivka, Krasnopolia, and Porovka. So these 5,000 troops is unknown. They are not, the units are reportedly unknown according to the pro-Russian sources. These troops are here to replace the territorial defense that was sent towards the Soledar direction. So maybe these are also territorial defense forces, but we can kind of have a sensing within this area, this region, in the southeastern part of Sumi, there is 5,000 troops. So if we multiply this by the distance along the border, this 5k, then Okay, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Okay, that's not very professional, but you get the point, right? You get the point. The number of troops that is needed. Let's say they need 20 times 5,000. That's 100,000 troops. So is that correct? Yeah, that's 100,000 troops. So so even though the Ukrainians have more troops within all the mobilized in total, when they spread out across all the borders that they need to hold and defend, including in the southern fronts at Odessa and Mykolaiv and Kherson, they don't really have a numerical advantage over on the real front line at the eastern front, which is the entire region of Luhansk and Donetsk. This would help you try to I hope this actually helps you to understand why the Ukrainians, despite having like 650,000, 700,000 or even a million troops, they are unable to effectively push back the Russians decisively around the eastern front. The reason is this, because the troops are too spread out, and they are also too paranoid to leave this border with Russia undefended. So yeah, that's just how it is. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 326 for the 15th of January. Please press the like button. Like really, I press the like button. We should get more than 3,000 likes every time. So you must do your part, because by pressing the like button, you help this channel to reach more people. Like seriously, I've done an experiment that is true. Those old timers with this channel for some time, they have heard it, they have seen me do this experiment with them. The like button is very, very important, and do share this with your friends and family and contacts. And for those that you are new to this channel, press the subscribe button, because you would definitely love to continue, because I tell you so, because so you now love this channel now. So welcome to the DPA army, and I'll see you in the next update.